I would like to say a big thank you to BMW for participating us this year. As you heard from Doctor, BMW has a very long history. It was established in 1916. Over a century of time, BMW has dedicated in enhancing users' driving experience. But here comes another intriguing topic, which is autonomous driving. With world's rising interest in autonomous driving, many opportunities also emerge. I can think of 5G, cloud services, and like AI. What opportunities does Taiwan have? And what challenges must we understand and encounter? BMW's panelists will have the answer to every one of you. So now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's start next forum. Let me invite our moderator, Scott Wu, Deputy Editor-in-Chief from Business Weekly. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott. And now I'd like to invite our panelists, Dr. Mario Urbina from BMW again to the stage. Doctor, please. Mr. Martin Ting, General Manager of 7-Star Lake. And Mr. Peter Wu, CEO of Asus Cloud Operation. Last but not least, Mr. S.T. Liew, Vice President of Qualcomm. I know it's about 1:30 p.m. Everybody, can I hear a round of applause for our moderator and panelists? All right, Scott, it's your time.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's very glad to have these four panelists here. And join the speech we join with Urbina. We can talk about the hottest issue about the autonomous driving. And as we know, the autonomous driving is not only the story; it's going on the road. And my first question when going to the Martin, because basically we have the big event every year. It's called Amazing Night. Last year, we trying to have the cooperation with the 7-Star Lake to use their autonomous driving bus to take our attendees to go to our forum. But when we go into this project, we face a lot of the legal problems.
Challenges.
Yeah, challenges. As I know, the 7-Star Lake have a very successful on-road test in Taipei, in Taiwan. So can Martin share with us what's the challenge about autonomous driving in Taiwan? There's your experience.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the Scott questions. And before I answer the question, I prepared one videos to show the 7-Star Lake, the vehicle between Taiwan and the French company Simayo we developed together. And can we show the video from the Kaohsiung, the testing the event? Okay. From the video, it will show you. Oh, okay. This is Taipei. It's fine. We do this event in Taipei bus lane. Maybe give you some ideas. As you can see, with our bus, we focus on the public transportation services. And due to the Scott mentioned about what the challenge is, as you can see, this event takes 3 months to preparation. And we need to get the city hall government support to apply for special regulations.
I thought it was very convenient, especially the big buttons for the doors.
有及时的服务，就不会像现在公车是我们要等，然后我们可以主动的去类似轿车，机动性算很高。
Okay, the idea is that when Scott asked us, we would like to provide this connection service from one of the metro stations to the Taipei basketball stadium. However, we ask for the city hall. We need to arrange for special police to give us a dedicated lane. So that is a legal challenge. And the second one is now we don't have any the license to provide the public the connection. So that will be the major challenge. And I do believe 7-Star Lake do this a lot of, so we call it the trial program in Taipei, the bus city lane, and in Kaohsiung, the metro and the light rail. And I believe with more and more people to try our vehicle can bring more public awareness to all the Taiwanese people. Yeah.
Okay, so my next question to everyone. Does anyone have seen the BMW Big 7's commercial? BMW Big 7's commercial. I just wonder, because my question is to the Urbina. I see the driver can use the gesture to control the car's the system. That's your idea?
Not my idea, but from our team, yes.
Yeah. So my question is, when you're trying to predict the user behavior, it must be change the industry. So my question is, when we're talking about automotive driving, it will change some behavior of drivers, or even the behavior of how we use the transportations. So basically, we're trying to see how the business model changes. So my question is, according to your analysis and your understandings, will this change the business model of the automotive companies in 10 or 20 years later?
Well, as I mentioned before in my presentation, we are changing from a car seller or car producer into a mobility service provider. This is going to affect our business models. Also, the 4 topics of this Asus strategy is not just our strategy. We think this is going to apply for everything. Autonomous driving is going to play a key role here. Connected cars, also electrifying cars, and shared mobility services. And this is what is going to drive us in our new directions. Also in innovation. So BMW has also always been very innovative, and we are changing our products in order to meet the user needs.
And as I know that in this April, BMW set up the autonomous driving campus in Munich. And so can you share with us what's the purpose of this campus going to do?
Oh, this is an incredible campus. It was built in just 1 year from the idea to apply it and starting right actually. We're having sitting there about 2,000 engineers and software developers. They're working hand in hand in order to provide the new automotive experience. We're having an extremely big fleet of testing cars, just not only testing the software, but also learning from other drivers, their behavior, and then to predict how a risk situation is going to be. We're also, it is also very near Munich, so if not only if we need some more cooperation with our departments, it's just 1 step ahead.
Thank you. And as we know, when we want to see the automatic driving come true, there's a lot of important things is how we get the data. Data is coming from the cloud everywhere. So my question is to Peter. Before we go into these panels, we have talked in private. And when we go into see the data, it's very big issues. Just like I suppose most of the people, they don't trust the automatic driving because it's a machine. Maybe you don't have the trust about that. And data is more of questions. I know that Peter has mentioned that when we have a big, strong cloud service, you need a service, scale, and security. Can you share with us how to build a very strong or certified cloud service to this infrastructure? What's the main point?
Thank you, Scott. Hello, everyone. My name is Peter from Asus. I believe all of you know that cloud is very important for connected thing. Actually, cloud is not just a technology enabler, but also an economic enabler for connected things. For example, for the mother company of my Asus, we are selling the story of connected PC. And just like automobile company like BMW, you talk about connected cars. And for connected things, connected cars or connected PC, our experience, we saw 3 important things need to be considered: service, scale, and the security. And for services, it is important that connectivity or connected is not the goal. It's just a method. So you need to think in advance what kind of real useful services you are providing to your customer. You need to be customer-centric. You need to provide useful services, intelligent services, just like that. And for scale, when everything gets connected, for companies like Asus or BMW, we cannot do business like just like before the hardware. Yeah, we need to see things from operation. Yeah, you can imagine that if there are 1 million cars connected inside a system, yeah, you need to face the challenges from the technology view. Just like a telco company, you need to you will face the problem of scalability. And for a business point of view, of course, you will see the opportunity of new business model, just you mentioned before, but you will also need to overcome another scale issue. Yeah, you need to have the economy of scale. So this is the second thing. And the third thing you need to consider is the security. Yeah, just like your experience from PC, when you are using a connected car, I believe you would not like to have a car to be disabled by others accidentally, or to be steal something from your car by others, or you don't want to see some useful information or private information monitored by others. So security is the third important thing when you consider such kind of applications.
Okay. We talk about the cars, talk about the cloud. I think the very important thing is how to connect these two things. So connectivity is very important. That's why we invited Liew here. Qualcomm is the standard maker of the telecom. So I just remember 2 years ago, I go to the MWC. I listened to the speech of Mark Zuckerberg. During that time, the Facebook just trying to promote the VR. So Mark said the 5G is the savior for the VR because VR will consume a lot of data. So 5G is fast enough to transportation the signal. But right now, we don't see VR happen. But so I just want to ask the ST, how do you see the 5G's application in this automated driving industry? And the second one is when 5G 2 years ago is just pipeline, right now it's going to market. What kind of the opportunity or service do you see you can introduce to our Taiwanese?
Yeah, first of all, good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me here. Qualcomm is a leading technology company in terms of providing very, very comprehensive communication solutions. Obviously, we have been involved in 2G to 3G, 3G to 4G, and now this big step from 4G to 5G. I think the first thing to say is that 5G is unlike anything we have seen before. 5G is actually a very comprehensive coverage of communication, feeling, culture, etc., etc. And that is a very important meaning why I want to say that. And part of it is because it's so widely encompassing. One of the research we've done by outside parties shows that by 2035, the economy that's going to be brought up by 5G is going to be in the trillions and trillions of dollars on top of what we see today. And it will bring millions and millions of new jobs. So if you look at communication technologies as we understand today, just like in smartphones and other things, it obviously is not just about smartphones. So the applications and the expectations we would want and people would expect from 5G is very far-ranging. And one of them is what we're sitting here to talk about is motor vehicles. And why is connectivity important in the space of motor vehicles? Like, my Asus associate have just said, we have launched connected PCs. PCs in the past could be just standalone, a lot of computing resources, just sitting there, you do your stuff. But increasingly, and more importantly, you need impromptu and up-to-date information, and you want it really, really quickly. So 5G communication and 5G technology has to address three major key things. There are a lot more than that, but three key things I want to mention. One is massive throughput. So you want massive data to go from point A to point B. So we're talking about multiple times on top of the advanced LTE we have today. Second thing is short latency. And short latency is very important. Short latency means you do something and you get a response immediately or very, very quickly. Obviously, in motor vehicles, especially in the cellular V2X space, where you have vehicle and vehicle communications and vehicle to traffic lights communications, you cannot afford even a fraction of a second of a delay. So 5G promises those things, and on top of that, you need to have quality of services that's ensured. You don't want to be driving down Zhongxiaodong and then you go from 4段 to 第5段 and suddenly you lost your navigations or something like that, especially not your automotive vehicles. So 5G has to make those promises and deliver them. And the good news is that here in Qualcomm, we have done a lot of research years and years before people even talk about 5Gs. And a lot of these things is not just about the chipset, it's not just about the silicon, it's about the whole ecosystem, working with the likes of BMWs, Asus, and A-Star, and everybody else in the ecosystem to make sure that the networks work, the technologies work, the modulations work, and then finally, the chipset work, and then our partners all over the world, and especially in Taiwan, can capitalize on it and make them into devices. Very exciting time, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'll follow with the question with ST. My question is to Martin, because Siemens is a turnkey company trying to provide the automatic driving system.
Yes.
Yeah, to all the different companies or industries. So Taiwan has a very robust fundamental of the technology, not only the hardware but also the software. So from your experience, do you see any opportunities to Taiwanese company? Because I suppose we try to go into the car making industry is not easy because in Taiwan we don't have these resources. So what kind of opportunity we can have based on this automatic driving trend?
Yeah, when we talk about opportunities, actually I prepared the second videos, and I think I do have enough time to show a video. So can we show the Kaohsiung videos about how the city to adapt the public transportation services? And then I can share about how connect and shared mobilities can change our world. Okay, from these videos, actually you can see some of the kit of the sign, the metro, the light rail, mobile apps, and the control room. Everything has to be connected together. So the connectivity is the most important thing behind these mobility services. So if each city would like to deploy or provide any kind of autonomous driving services, the back end, the backbone about the IT technology is the key. So talk about the IT technology. You see, remember, I do not like the Dr. Mario talk about the car industry because I want to be very honest to the whole Taiwanese people. In Taiwan, we do have some car assembly industry, but however, in order to develop our own autonomous vehicle, we need a tremendous of resources. However, we still do not give up the dream to how to transit the whole Taiwan industry to upgrade the better industrial level. So I do believe two industries can be complete into this mobility connect and share the services. First, I call it autonomous driving services. In order to provide this shuttle in every big city, Taipei, Taoyuan, Taichung, Kaohsiung, and then you need to build a test bed. You need to build a connectivities into every IoT devices. So it means we need the Asus cloud services. When we build a smart street, when we provide a smart corridors, and then we need a lot of 5G to connect all the people. For example, the people in the video, he make a reservation. Once the connectivity is disconnected, how can our shuttle bus know that someone would like to make reservations? So connectivity and the cloud should be important. I do believe that's a trend for Taiwan. And the second, once you have the 10 or 20 brands about autonomous vehicle into Taiwan, and then how the government or how any research institute need to build a test bed. To test what? To test is your vehicle can be compliant with the Taiwan regulations. Can your vehicle can meet all of the infrastructure? What the infrastructure? Also the Qualcomm share about the DSRC, share about the V2V. Does your vehicle already complies or meet those requirements or not? That's a lot of opportunities together with from the ICT hardware and the services. In addition to the driving services, I want to talk about the software. In the software part, you can see the young guy through the app to make reservations. And then the image about in any public transportation devices, it's no driver. It's no one can detect do you pay or not. So the fintech, the online the payment become extremely important. So 7-Star Lake is great to co-work with like iCash, like the Easy Car, and also the iPass. The three major Taiwanese, the Easy Car, the his software turnkey already integrate with the vehicle. And of course, in the future, the social community company like the Line or like the Taiwan is another original, the fintech company, the Jeco, they are also ready to be integrated with the payment systems. So with those applications and examples, I see the future from the Taiwan. If all the Taiwan can dedicate to make an autonomous vehicle as early as possible to approve the law. I mean, the law is talking about is the regulations and also the infrastructure. Of course, infrastructure need more ICT investment, such as the I would say like about the DSRC, V2V, or kind of GPS or RTK. A lot of things need to be improved and invest. Of course, the investment can make the business, make economies getting growth up. And the second part is the software. So this is two of the industries from the testing event in Taipei, in Kaohsiung, and in Zhanghua. I see the future for the whole Taiwan. Thank you.
Thank you. When you talk about different parts of the ecosystem of the automatic driving, I think the BMW is a very important part because when the consumers of the driver, they want to test or satisfy about the experience. It depends on the car makers. So when we talk about this one, and I just want to ask Mario, we just talk about the responsibility. Because when we talk about, 2 weeks ago, we have the cover story about the autonomous driving. We put a dog on the cover story. We say in the future, maybe your dog can drive your car to take you to the office and going back. You don't need the people. You don't need real people to drive the cars. But the real question is, so the first question to Mario is, how do you convince your consumers to believe this? Yeah. The second one is, we talk about this one. When they have the accident about the automatic driving cars, who have paid for the responsibility? How we solve these problems? Maybe it's key issues to make this trend become big leaps in the future.
Could you repeat the second part, please?
Second part is when we have an accident about the automatic drive car, like Uber happened in American. So who have the responsibility for this? Because in the car, maybe no one, or the driver he cannot say he have the accident or he just passed this. Who has the responsibility for this one?
So well, for the first part, we are not introducing autonomous driving from overnight. So this is just a very, very long process. We have started for a couple of years with ACC technologies, so automatic cruise control, and the user is getting used to these technologies. we're learning from them, they're learning from us. And then in 2021, we're introducing level 3 and then going step by step through complete autonomous driving. But also our slogan is sheer driving pleasure. So we also believe that it's going to be combined. So sometimes I just want to get home and don't want to drive through this traffic jam, just want to sit in my car, let me pick up, drop me away, drop me up, and then the car can park by itself. It's going to solve lots of problems there. But also if I just want to drive and enjoy the drive, I just can do it. Well, from the second part is who is responsible. At BMW, we believe that safety is the major thing. So we're not going to provide any services which is not safe. Safety is at the very first level, and this provides that the user also trusts our system and use our systems. This is the major thing. It's not about responsibility. It's about avoiding a crash. This is what we're working on.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. And my question is to Peter, because when we talk about smart city and smart transformation, because automated driving system is part of the smart city and smart transportations. So Asus Cloud have involved in the transformation about digitalize for Taiwanese industry. Can you share with some idea? But when your observations, when Taiwan is a traditional company, they're trying to digitalize transformations, maybe catch on with this trend of the automated driving opportunity, our cloud-lize, our digitalize. What can Taiwanese company should do, or should understand?
Thank you, Scott. And I can say that transportation is one of the most important applications in smart city. I can tell you that about 2 years ago, I learned from Singapore. Their prime minister chose 2 segments for Singapore to develop smart city. One is transportation, another is healthcare. And for Taiwan, also 2 years ago, our government chose also these 2 segments to put government funding to help cities or enterprise like us to develop smart city applications. So for ICT company like Asus, we see more and more important to focusing on real human needs. That's why we put resources in smart city initiative 5 years ago. And actually, Asus, Advantech Yanhua, in Datong, we set up an alliance called Smart City Alliance to try to develop such kind of smart city applications. And we co-op with the alliance, co-op with BSI, a British company, to bring a smart city framework 2 years ago in Taiwan. We tried to establish a methodology to tell people how smart city could build up. And in the smart city framework, actually it's a free copy, you can download it from internet. Yeah, there are 4 important elements you need to know for smart city application, just like transportation. The first thing is you need to be citizen-centric. Just like what I said, that you need to focus on human real needs. And the 2 important element is digital city. Whatever application you are talking about, we all need a new kind of infrastructure, digitized infrastructure. The third thing is open and collaborate. This is very interesting because many of the panelists talking about the ecosystem. When all things are connected, it will be a new era of ecosystem that all things need to be open and collaborate together. That I will explain more later. And the fourth thing is vision. specifically that the mayor need to have a vision on such kind of application. I remember that when I heard a lecture from Zheng Wencai, the mayor of Taoyuan City. He shared a clear vision about transportation in Taoyuan. So the first thing is you need to be a clear vision on specific application. And for the open collaboration, we in recent years, we have a more and more clear picture that all these applications will be a data-driven vertical ecosystem. That means that for post-PC era, we are coming from Intel era. For post-PC era, all application will be data-driven vertical ecosystem. So for Taiwanese company, especially component, hardware, modules, they will have a dramatic opportunity for us. There are not just a PC. There will be more and more ICT-enabled product all over the world, not just transportation. There will be more and more applications in healthcare, agricultural, etc. So for Taiwanese company like us, we should participate such kind of new application, new innovation, and we should use our strengths in manufacturing or component modules to cut into this new kind of ecosystem. We need to partner with Qualcomm to develop a more and more efficient, effective, connected products. So I can see there are very good opportunities for Taiwanese company like us. And other than hardware, Taiwan has a very good service industry. So I believe that data coming from service, and if we can collect more and more valuable data or quality data inside Taiwan, they will be another opportunity for us that, for example, for autonomous driving, if we can collect quality data inside Taipei City or Changhua City, that we may expose such kind of data to cooperate with maybe BMW to develop new product services. So that's new thinking, that we may not just do hardware. We can do data. We can cooperate with Qualcomm or BMW to co-develop new services and sell all over the world. That's our experience.
Okay, thank you, Peter. And my question is to ST, because I'm just curious, what is Qualcomm's global strategy in the 5G and autonomous driving? Because your strategy will keep impact the direction of this whole industry.
Yeah. Okay, let me just start by 5G, and I echo a lot of things that my Asus colleague here said, because 5G does open up opportunities that's beyond hardware, software. And to me, it's a lot of culture and philosophical. I want to use evolution. It's almost like revolutions, and it actually opens up a lot of opportunities for Taiwan. Now, back to 5G. We have about 8 billion connected devices or things in the world today. In 2 years, in 2020, that will be about 25 billion probably, and increasingly. And just before I came on the stage, I did a quick check. The world has about 1.2 billion vehicles. And in 2035, there'll be 2 billion vehicles. So we're talking about a significant challenge when you want to connect all these things together and make sure that they are reliable, and make sure they are safe, make sure they are high speed, make sure they are always available, low transparency, low latency, and so on and so forth. So needless to say that for us, the 5G has to start from the very fundamentals of technologies of how to use the different modulation techniques the ecosystem collaborations and so on and so forth to ensure that these things are delivered. And we work very closely with 3GPP to make sure that the global standard and 5G, et cetera, are sorted out and so the industry can follow through. But needless to say, it's a big challenge. So like I said earlier, our strategy has got to be started a long time ago, and we did. And we need to be collaborating with not just the device and hardware and software maker, but the ecosystem provider, and then the service provider, the operators of the world. So that way, when you see a device that come out, it's not just claimed to be 5G, but you know that it works. And that device can be a car, it could be a smartphone, it could be an IoT device, and so on and so forth. We recently announced the demonstrations with the 5G automotive associations to demonstrate the first, the CV2X vehicles, and successfully demonstrate that vehicle-to-vehicle communication is such a crucial part of the entire umbrella. And we have been working on vehicle-related devices and wireless devices for a long, long time. Before when I was a lot younger, we were doing things like vehicle tracking and only very simple stuff through wireless and all that. But now you're talking about, a lot more stuff. You're talking about infotainment, your gesture control and all those things are requiring a lot of artificial intelligence and intelligence. Some of it you have to decide on the spot. So you have edge computing inside your vehicle that learn from machine learning from your vehicles and the passengers within the vehicles. So those are the technologies that is 5G, but is related to also the environmental aspects of the whole 5G. And then, of course, you have the to-the-air communication as 5G. So we are very active in the whole space of vehicular and automotive driving and so on and so forth. And then because that we are already doing a lot of 5G communication technologies, it automatically extend to the automotive industry. Don't get me wrong, automotive industry, we have a lot of unique challenges that we have to resolve. But the fundamental of communications, the fundamental of artificial intelligence, which we are now building into our Snapdragon devices, now using hardware to accelerate the AI capability and so on and so forth, will help, and it's already helping. So, I just want to make very, very short comment about the Taiwan opportunities in the whole 5G economy. I think I mentioned earlier, the economy is so big. I mean, we were talking about people who never touched a smartphone before, wanting to do something, communicating. People who are in the clothing industry, in the catering industry, in the whatever you can name it. And a lot of these people, a lot of these industries have never touched a silicon or IC or software ever. But they look at 5G as an opportunity to improve their efficiency, to extend their capability, and to explore markets beyond their current reach. And these companies will require a lot of talents that exist right here in Taiwan, whether it's hardware, software, applications, services, and so on and so forth. You don't have to be making a car to participate in the automotive industry. But there are so many things inside the car that we can do here in Taiwan. So I think we in Taiwan can participate a lot in the evolution or the revolution that 5G will bring, and especially in the automotive industry. Thank you.
Thank you, ST. When you mentioned about the IT, I just wanted a question to Mario, because as we know, the BMW is a very pioneer company. You launched the pure electric car i8, right, in the industry. But as we know that when you mention about the automotive driving the system, there are more and more non-car maker join this market. In America, we have Google and Uber. In China, have the BAT, Baidu, Tencent, Alibaba. So we can see in this promising market, there are more and more players in this industry. So what's the core competence of BMW you can do? Or what's the different role that BMW want to play in this trend?
Yes, well, as I mentioned before, we are transforming from a car manufacturer to an individual mobility service provider. And this is the key where the game field that we are in right now. So it's not only just providing cars and, well, of course, it's right now it is a core business of us, but we see a lot of potential in distributed mobility services and providing a holistic mobility experience. And this is the way that we are going to deal with in the future.
As we know, we're talking about the automatic driving system. It is measured in the 5 different levels, and the 5th level is the ultimate level. You try to make the vehicle driving just like a human being, right? So, can you share with us in your maybe your prediction when it will come true in the 5 level?
Well, we are learning right now from our customers how they drive. We're learning not only from them, also from their surroundings. And of course, it needs to feel for the passenger as he's driving himself. Only in this way they feel comfortable, they feel safe, they trust in their abilities, so they are going to trust also the abilities of the car.
Okay, yeah, because this question is going to, so I talked with Martin. Same as Alex, just trying to do the turnkey solution. You need a infrastructure to fitting into the car itself. So we see the 2 videos.
Yes.
Yeah, same time have used the on-road test in Taipei and Kaohsiung, right?
Yes.
So in this successful records, what's the main key for success factors to make this on-road test a success? And what's the maybe the infrastructure we need to break through to make this 5th level become true?
Yeah, thanks for the Scott. In order to answer these questions and what is the steps and what will be the strategies for a city or for a country like Taiwan to embrace this exciting technology, I prepare the 3rd videos. And so can we play the videos? We co-work with Taiwan University, and we have a different kind of software, the technology, but I will try to make it as personalized as possible. So can we show the video from the Taiwan University, please? Thanks for this video. So if all of you would like to have time to test out the vehicles, welcome to contact with us. And the vehicle is always ready in Taiwan University. Okay, my idea is how a country like Taiwan to adopt this new technology and how to embrace this exciting technology and to improve our life quality. I think we should have the 3 phases to deploy the autonomous vehicle, because we know the challenges from regulation and the infrastructure. So where will be the ideally the territory have a less the regulation limitation? I believe we call this we should start from closed campus and to suburban area, and then the last stage is to city. Okay, so from the closed campus, I think Taiwan has totally more than 150 universities, and for those universities, they do need the connection services. And as you can see from our vehicle, we have 3 different fleet management software functionalities. The first we call it mature mode. It's like the Taipei Metro. Okay, you will stop at every station every 30 seconds to every 2 minutes. And the second function is bus mode. The bus mode is you can make reservations to see where you want to stop. And if the shuttles do not see any reservations, he will just pass by the stations. And the last one, I think is most important, I call this on-demand services. Just like the Uber in all the cities, you call the Uber, it will stop in front of you at home. And before we have the panel discussion, I just had some chat with Scott. I told Scott, with these the shuttles, we are also developing with some of the new software technology to do kind of identity check. For example, I have a daughter now is in junior high school, and if he can using my bus go to the school, I would like to have the camera to record her face to show what time he check in the bus and then what time he take out from the bus. So this kind of some of the functionalities just to give you ideas why I believe to start from this technology in some of the less regulation and the less about the infrastructure ready stated will be the phase 1. And the phase 2, we can also use this autonomous shuttle in the last mile services to connect to the community. For example, in the end of this year, the new Taipei city is going to launch the Danhai, the new city, and totally about 3 or 4 stations will be connected from the red line to the end of some communities. And obviously, in those new communities, is no bus operator, it's no any other public transportation devices. So using autonomous shuttle fleet can easily provide better connection and the service to those I call it last mile services area. Of course, the last one is the most tough one, but of course, as more tough, as more player and there's more higher expectations from all the Taiwanese, it will be how, when, and how to deploy this kind of like the mature, the no rail, a bus, no driver into the city like Taipei and the Kaohsiung. I would suggest the Taipei can start from 1 or 2 bus lane. For example, we work with Taipei City Hall very closely and try to promote the Taipei Xinyi bus lane become an international test bed. For example, the government need to invest around 1.5 million to 2 million to make the V2V and the V2X ready. That's like Qualcomm mentioned about. They need to install the DSRC and the other IoT devices and also including the smart lightings. Because smart lightings can always do 24 hours surveillance and to provide some obstacle or some law enforcement to the control center. So if the Taipei City or the Kaohsiung would like to invest those money to make infrastructure ready, the vehicle not only the 7-star like the EZ10, even including the BMW or the other level 4, I mean, I do believe, I more believe and trust computer communication to computer, not the computer communication to people. So I don't believe mix the people driving and the computer driving is a good idea. So I always to say it's better to have one very clean and gated lane only for autonomous vehicle to drive. So Taipei could be started from the 1 bus lane because the Taipei, the people population is very high density, so it could be enough. And we think about the city like Kaohsiung, how the Kaohsiung can need this technology. Taipei is around about 125 kilometers about the mature, and the total 145 stations. Take about 20 years to reach 2 million ridership per day, and then to make a break-even operation since the 1.2 million ridership per day. City like Kaohsiung have about 45 kilometers about the underground mature, and the 22.5 kilometers about the light rail. Guess what is the ridership per day, Scott? Did you know what is how many people take the Kaohsiung?
No, I don't know.
180,000. You know, it's less than 10% about the Taipei. But because of the autonomous shuttle, autonomous technology just happened in these years. So I think all the new cities or even all the countries, they have the great opportunities like the flag. You can jump, you know, even in some new cities and new like South Asia cities. I host the visiting delegation from Malaysia, from Thailand, from Indonesia, or from the other Vietnam, many cities, even from the Europe. They do see it's the future for this new technology can easily and very efficiently can complete the network about public transportation for the city. It means the people can enjoy the better efficiency, like we can call the Uber, it's called like the BMW, the videos. So with these 3 stages, I think the Kaohsiung have another opportunities to using this technology, have a lower budget to build the new mature, but without rails. So if the country or like a city like Taipei and the Kaohsiung can adopt this phase by phase, I think it's opportunity for these cities become greater and get done better. And also all the industries like the Taiwan, and most of the Taiwanese, I think now we are a little bit worried and anxious about how the strong about the China is getting bigger and bigger, and the whole society feel very anxious, and they cannot find the way in the future. However, with the artificial intelligence and with the smart city using the transportation, I believe those technology can bring the better industrial and connect with the society and also embrace the 5G and also the cloud and also the new vehicles. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. When Martin talk about the infrastructure, I want to have a question to Peter, because I know Asus have some project with government about a smart city framework, right? And the smart city framework is, I think, is also the fundamental of the automated driving. So when you develop this framework, do you see any opportunity for Taiwan company, our Thai industry to promote, to push the automated driving industry? Where's the opportunity, our challenge?
Okay, I believe the core idea is a friendly environment. So how our city government can provide friendly environment for such kind of new industry. For example, as you mentioned, we all need data. Yeah, for autonomous driving, we need more and more data from outside the car, the weather, how the road status, or how do other things do. So if the government can provide such kind of data infrastructure, it can help the industry to go faster or further. And also the second thing is about the environment is legal. So if we can provide a sandbox, a safe environment for enterprise like us to provide such kind of service that help us to forget of or get rid of legal risks, and this will help us a lot.
And okay, it's going to run out of time. So at the end, please conduct your today's program with a few words or your few thoughts to share with other people. So Mario, you first. Your conclusion?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I mean that at the end it's the final. We have the 5 minutes. So I think in the last questions, I hope you can share your idea about today's forum. So maybe you can see some words or ideas can share with our audience about these trends.
Well, we have seen that altogether we have the same thoughts about how autonomous driving and connectivity are going to play a key role in our future. We've seen in a very similar way. We know that infrastructure is going to play a big role. Cities need to help us to get there to autonomous driving. Connectivity is also is going to play the key role to have this infrastructure that everything is talking to each other. So yes, also these 4 topics that I mentioned before with its Asus is also applies for the cities. And if we can get all these things done, we can provide a very, very premium, high-level mobility services for all the people.
Thank you. Peter?
Okay, well, actually I have a wish for BMW that I wanted to have a Jarvis very soon from BMW. Do you know Jarvis? 老贾在钢铁人.
Iron Man's server.
And I hope that we can have my own Jarvis in your ID8 or ID9 design. Thank you.
SD?
No, I think just, it's a very exciting time. So we talked a lot about 5G for years now, and is gradually or rapidly becoming a reality. We have simulations that shows how it will work and how these promises will be delivered. So I would say that Taiwan can stand here and really spread our innovations and our inventions throughout the world, and we can absolutely do it. So just let's go do it. Thank you.
Marty?
Wow, okay. I think I have the 2 things to share to all of today's audience. I think how to embrace those things. First, we should think globally and act locally. What do I mean think globally? I think most of our government and of our industry leaders always think about we should think globally and act globally. However, we are a small country. We only have 23 million populations. How much resources do we have? How much money we can invest to catch up the growth like the country like China? So think globally is always a good way, good move. But act locally is even more important. So in terms of today's topic, we talk about mobility, and I believe shared and connected ability is the key, and is the foundation, and is the major important milestone to connect all of the Taiwan or the ICT industry to work with these global players. So I mean, act locally, it means that we cannot have the idea like to try to build a car like a BMW, because Taiwan is not Germany. We don't have the resources to build the car industry. Yeah, so I think that's extremely important, and it's the word from my deep my heart. Yeah, so no matter even it's the Ministry of Economy sit beside me, I will always telling him my advice. To make a car, to build a car is not our strength. But however, to build the ecosystem is the key. So this is my word to the today. Think globally, act locally. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. May I borrow your hands to have a big applause to our panelists today? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.